Shalom. Call Halal, Yahawah, Sham, Yahawashi, Sham, Qadash. Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity, risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. To the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, that be like unto the speckled bird, the Israelite foreigners among the heathen that look like those heathen. And to the few akwaf that are listening and learning, to you I say shalom. This is your brother Malcolm from the branch of the great millstone here in Chicago, coming at you another lesson in truth. And what I'm going to talk about is, well, actually, I'm going to play a video, and not all of the video, but a good portion of it, and give some spiritual commentary. And, you know, we'll go from there. But first, let me read this. This is Jeremiah 49:7, and it reads, "Concerning Edom, thus saith Yahawah of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished?" And it seems so, because they can't really seem to do anything right. And these Israelis have basically brought up you know, the wrath of the whole Arab world against them. And minus that of Jordan, the king of Jordan, this dude Abdallah, who's the king of Jordan, you know, he may end up going back to, it seems like it's coming down to the fact that he actually might be a plant. He might not even actually be an Ishmaelite. He might not even be Arab. He could be a plant. He's more than likely, or have Edomite roots. And he was the only one in the whole Arab world that went against this vote that they just took, and made himself an enemy to all of the Arab world, to all of Islam for that reason. I mean, you know, as far as that's concerned. And you know, and he's an Edomite plant. That part is for sure. You know, if he's a Ter, if he's an Edomite, or, you know, I'm not 100% sure on that. You know, you can't quote me on that. I'm not saying that definitely. But what I am saying though is that it's beyond. There's no doubt in my mind that he actually is a plant. That he was planted there. All right, and I'm gonna play this interview with Holloway and Ritter. With Ritter actually interviewing. Holloway interviewing John Ritter, you know, the UN weapon inspector, you know, former UN weapons inspector, Marine officer. He's a Marine officer, former UN inspector, weapons inspector. All right, so, you know, his opinion and his strategies about, you know, about war tactics. Well, he's actually qualified to speak on these matters. All right, so without any further ado, let me pull up this video. So just bear with me for a moment. Yeah, all right, I got it. Let me just bring it back. And the video is called Scott Ritter, Israel hiding damages caused by Iran's retaliation. Iran will strike nuclear base. And so that's another thing, you know, as those events were unfolding on Saturday, all day long, you know, I was watching, even that night, Friday night, I started watching the videos and the commentary, and all the commentary that I saw from the American media was, it was very restricted. And then when I watched the commentary from independent media, it was just way more details. And, you know, the American media was making it as if it was no big deal and barely anything happened. But the truth of the matter is that the Israelis, they suffered huge damages. They catastrophic damages to their infrastructure. I think they bombed the air base, and I think they bombed eight bunkers. So this was not a light thing. This was not a little thing. All right. So let's skip past this and let's let it play. But here we go. I might have to use my speaker to turn it up. You know what? I'll do this.
a recent episode of the Open-Minded Thinker Show, a former U.S. Marine Corps intelligence officer delivered an insightful analysis of the ongoing skirmishes between Iran and Israel. He asserted that Iran's objective was to re-establish a deterrent against Israel, cautioning them against further aggressive actions amidst escalating tensions in the region. Furthermore, he highlighted Iran's strategic intent to impress upon Israeli policymakers in Tel Aviv the reality of its military capabilities. In today's episode, the officer portrayed Iran's retaliatory actions as one of the most successful military deterrence operations in recent memory, particularly since Israel began testing the strategic patience of the Islamic Republic. Despite offering a damning assessment of the attack, he ominously predicted further Iranian assaults on Israel. The rationale behind his prediction remained unclear in the interview conducted on the YouTube show Moat, hosted by renowned British commentator and MP George Galloway. In a stunning revelation, Scott Ritter highlighted significant vulnerabilities in the joint US-Israeli missile defense system. According to him, the US boasts an advanced ANTPY-2 X-band radar stationed at Har Keren, located in the Negev desert. This radar's primary mission is to detect Iranian missile launches and relay crucial targeting data to Israeli Arrow and David's sling systems, as well as US THAAD ABM batteries. These defense systems are strategically deployed to safeguard sensitive Israeli sites such as Dimona, Nevatim, and Ramon air bases.
Well, let's just point out the reality that Iran started this attack by launching the slowest, loudest weapons in its arsenal, the Shahed drones. And they did that because they were sending a signal to Israel, the United States, and everybody, we're attacking Israel. Now, if they were looking to carry out, a lethal attack, why announce it 5 hours in advance? Why give Israel a chance to withdraw its high-valued assets from bases that are vulnerable? Why give the United States, Great Britain, and France a chance to move resources up, ships, airplanes over Jordan to intercept these missiles? Iran was saying, here we come, shoot us down. And they did. They came out and they shot the drones down. Now, Iran launched tens of millions of dollars worth of drones. The United States and Israel spent billions of dollars shooting them down. This is a financial equation that's unsustainable, and that was one of the points that Iran was making, is you can't afford this kind of war.
Wow, you hear that? So basically what they did, what they did was they made them exhaust their resources and let them know that you can't afford to fight us, that you're not capable of fighting us. All right, and then after that, and this was not reported in the Western media at all. It took Western analysts and Marine, former weapons inspector John Ritter, and I do believe that former General McGregor spoke on this as well. But they launched these weapons, and what these weapons do is they send out decoys. All right, they launch them, and it's like 5 or 6 decoys go out, and then the Israeli system and the David sling successfully shot them all down. But like he said, the Iranians spent millions firing these things, but then the Israelis spent billions knocking them out the sky. All right, and to their own demise, because what they were doing was they were letting them know that you can't afford to fight us, that you don't have the means to continue to do this, because we can do this all day. The Iranians are sitting on hundreds of thousands of these weapons, which they can't ignore, because if they don't ignore them, they will hit the targets and destroy them. All right. Okay, so let me let you in on another secret. Well, it's not even a secret, but the IDF ran a stress test. And they ran that stress test, and the way this stress test operated was that they were testing to see how they would do if they had to fight everyone in the region at one time. And both times, and both stress tests, they failed miserably. They were overran and overcome by all the forces that are around them. And that's the reality of the matter. And now Iran just revealed to everyone involved in this upcoming war that the Israelis cannot defend themselves. And the reason that they can't defend themselves is because when they were firing these weapons to stop the Iranian onslaught, the decoys exhausted the Israelis' defense, and then the real weapon was actually able to go through and hit the launching systems. So when this thing gets worse, it's really going to get worse. All right? So, you know, and then that's, you know, that's the least of the flock drawing them out. Let me go back to that. All right, and they're going to draw America into this, and the rest of the West, and we're going to have World War III. World War III is on the table, but this thing will not go full blown until the MOTB is implemented. And while all this was going on, I think the apostle put out the information that 11 countries signed a deal to go digital. All right, so you're about to go. So all these camps that are speaking against the MOTB, that don't speak the name, they're all about to be exposed the same as Esau. And the bag that they took to live luxurious on this side and brag about it and call other people the bum camps, when, you know, the Lord didn't have a pot to piss in or you know, a roof to sleep under. All right, but you know, and it also says, you know, that the men of the Lord, all you're supposed to really ask for and want is your daily bread. Nothing more. What that scripture says, give me not riches nor poverty. You know, we all seem to make it somehow, some way. And in a dying country, in a dying economy. So all these guys that they got their consolation on this side. All right. So a lot of guys are getting ready to recant their statements or eat them. They're getting ready to eat their words. Those who spoke against the true men of the Lord and spoke against the true gospel. All right, but let me go back into the scripture here. This is Jeremiah 49:20, and it reads, "Therefore hear the counsel of Yahawah that he have taken against Edom, and the purpose that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them." All right, so Teman, Basra, there's getting ready to be a sacrifice in Basra wherever they are. And that's every place that is controlled by Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, is about to be visited by the Lord and destroyed. That's where we are, and that's what is about to happen. All right. If we go over to Jeremiah the 50th chapter, I'm going to go to 50 and 45. And it reads, "Therefore hear thee the counsel of Yahawah that he have taken against Babylon, and his purpose that he have purposed against the land of the Chaldean. Surely the least of the flock," referring to Amalek, all right, "shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them." All right, so he's referring Amalek to the Chaldeans and placing them in Babylon. All right. Just as the scriptures place Edom in Babylon. All right. As a matter of fact, we go to the prayer of King David. I think that's Psalms 147. So 148. No, not 148. I'm gonna find it. These are all good, but I'm looking for specifically. Just give me a second. Yeah, it's 137. This is Psalms 137. All right, and it's placed in Edom in Babylon. Okay, so this is Psalms 137 and 1. It says, "By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, yea, we wept, and as we remembered Zion. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof, for there they carried us away captive, and required of us a song, and they wasted us, required of us mirth, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion. But we were miserable in captivity as we are today, forced into payments. All right, we can't even leave the country without getting a document or a piece of paper. Okay, you can't even travel. You can't do anything without their permission. All right. It says, how shall we sing Yahawah's song in a strange land? If I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. And if I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. All right, because this is all about the actual elect of the Lord's people. And it says, remember, O Yahawah, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundations thereof. So you have to remember what was just said here. All right, it started off talking about Babylon. So we know that ancient Babylon, that's Iraq. It's still there. This is talking about the daughter of Babylon. Okay, it says, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. All right, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stone. So through thy precepts we get understanding, and through the precepts we know that modern day Babylon, well, I'm sitting in it, and that it's ruled over by Esau Edom, and the head of Esau Edom is Amalek. All right, and Amalek, the least of the flock, is drawing his people and the rest of the world into this third woe. Okay, which they're not going to survive, because at the end of it, they're going to get gathered up. All right, they're going to get rounded up because they got all those bunkers, and they're going to get put in chains. All right, this is Psalms 149, and it reads, praise ye Yahawah, sing unto Yahawah a new song, and his praise in the congregation of the saints. And it says, let Israel rejoice in him that made him. Let the children of Zion be joyful in their king. Let them praise his name in the dance. Let them sing praises unto him with timbrel and harp. Let Yahawah take a pleasure in his people. He will beautify the meek with salvation. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of God be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This is the honor. Have all his saints praise ye Yahawah. All right. So all the saints of the Lord are the Israelites, and before they go back to the land of Israel, they're going to put all the elites of all the other nations in chains and bind them. This is another scripture that proves to you that the people over there in the land are imposters. They're not the people. All right, because the prophecy clearly says that when the Israelites go home, they would dwell in peace and safety alone, not have missiles fired at them and drones sent to attack them, nor would they be worried or in danger of being attacked by all the people around them as these people are. Okay, so let me see if I can go to the end of the video where he speaks about this Abdallah guy who's causing a rift, because St. Benji read a scripture last night, because the actions of Benjamin Netanyahu is he's acting on his own personal behalf, trying to save his own butt by keeping this war going, because he, if this war stops, will be brought back into court and brought up on crimes against humanity and war crimes by his own people. And so to avoid the punishments of the court, he wants to keep this thing going. All right, so let me go back to the video, and give me a second, Salakia.
demonstration last year that became a civil war. I talked to senior Iranian officials about it, and they said this isn't demonstrations. This is a hybrid war run by the CIA and Israeli Mossad, designed to bring Iran down from within. And it was a big problem. It was a big fight. The Iranians won. They prevailed. But I would see Israel encouraging Baluch nationalist movements to strike Iran. Zahidan.
There we go.
I would see them encouraging ISIS to strike inside Israel. I would encourage them to see the Kurds striking, the Mujahideen al-Gulf striking. All these external forces that the CIA, the British, and Israeli intelligence have been propping up for years. I think you're going to see the Israelis saying, you need to double down on this stuff. We need to put the pressure on Iran because we can't be seen as doing nothing. We have to be seen as doing something. And this, again, will test the limits of Iran's deterrent policy. At what point in time will Iran expand it to say that that hybrid attacks using a proxy qualifies as the same as a direct attack, and our deterrence will kick in as well. We dodged a bullet, but we're not out of the firefight yet. There's going to be a lot of pressure put on down the road. The good news is Iran doesn't want to fight. They're not cowards. They proved that they will fight if need be. But Iran's focus is on the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. It's on BRICS. It's on normalization of relations with Saudi Arabia. It's on economic prosperity. And a war with Israel will disrupt all of this. So the good news is there's a lot of patience built into Iran's foreign policy, a lot of flexibility. And that's necessary at this point in time because Iran has to understand that Israel has to do something for internal politics. And you either want a war or you don't. If you don't want a war, you're going to have to grit your teeth and bear it as Israel uses proxy forces to put pressure on Iran to punish Iran. Iran will have to absorb these attacks. But the other good news is Israel's losing the bigger war. Remember, the other thing Iran doesn't want to do is distract attention away from the fact that Hamas is winning, that Hamas has turned global opinion against Israel, that the world is now talking about a Palestinian state in ways that they had never done before. A larger war between Israel and Iran distracts people from that goal, and Iran doesn't want that. Iran understands that the axis of resistance together with Hamas was in the process of strategically defeating Israel, and that's the fight they want to fight. So I think Iran will be willing to absorb blows from Israeli proxies in order to stay focused on the strategic victory that they're handling and not fall victim to the kind of petty human narcissism that Israel falls victim to, where they say, we've been slighted, we have to do massive revenge. Iran has shown itself to be a very patient, very resilient, very mature nation state when it comes to this sort of activity.
And he's right, because
Finally, Scott, and I'm
hold on. Because the Israelis are extremely petty. All right, they really are. And one thing is that this, when it says for there shall be peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come. So this is not going to work. All right, because guess what? Netanyahu's going to strike back, and when he does that, it's going to bring upon this destruction. It's going to bring on this third world's woe. This third woe. John Ritter is trying to speak with all this hope that this thing won't happen, but it's going to happen. The scriptures clearly say it will surely come. The third war shall surely come, and there is no way out of this. Okay, and then with that move that Abdallah did, all he's done is all he did was anger the rest of the Arab world, who were all who actually were all coming together, both Sunni and Shiite. All right, and together for one cause, and he kind of disrupted that. Why? Because he's an Edomite plant. So there is your friction right there. That's gonna break any peace that might come, man. All right. So with that, I'm gonna give all praises, all honor and glory unto Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, the Qadash, and Kwam Yasharala, Shalom.